A busy Thanksgiving weekend here in State College, Pennsylvania, and they have packed Rec Hall for a second consecutive night, for a second consecutive huge matchup coming up on this final weekend. We're just about 24 hours away from the selection show. Penn State again on this final weekend of the regular season, as they've done the last few years with some good results down the stretch.
You know, and it's hard to play at the end of the season. The teams are tired, but it's just really interesting to see how teams progress, how they get better, when they peak. Are they peaking at the right time? And they have had some tough matches toward the end of the season and have had a ton of success.
I think these fans are ready to go. You know all about this place. They saw the football game earlier today. They saw a win. Now they're ready for this one. So let's get to the starters. Brought to you by Unleaded 88 and the starters for a Penn State team that pulled off that reverse sweep. And Hugh McCutcheon said to us at Serve and Pass today, we know the middles are going to get theirs.
That's right. And that's, I think everybody knows. You know team strengths at this point. And Penn State, they know they need to serve tough against Penn State to get them a little bit out of system, force them to set their outside hitters, and that's how Minnesota is going to have some success. Of course, on their side of the net, they have some serious attackers on their side of the net.
Well, you look at what Kylie Miller has to operate with, and for Hugh McCutcheon, it's just got to the point where things have solidified finally this late in the season.
And that's crazy, you know. And seriously, every match after match, I'm like, man, they're doing it. They're just making it happen. They're kind of just piecing it together, running a 6-2. It was crazy at times. It was great at times, but now they've finally settled into this lineup. It's going to be exciting to see how they progress towards the end of the year.
60th all-time meeting between these programs. But look at the bottom of those four markers there. Minnesota hasn't won here in 15 years.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised to see that because I know how much of a battle these matches are and how good the Minnesota team always is year after year, and it's so difficult to play. So those are never easy matches, that's for sure. But I'm sure they're coming in here ready for the first one in a long time.
And remember last year, Minnesota came in undefeated in the Big Ten, came here on what was the Friday night of the weekend trip, and Penn State won a thriller. Minnesota began in rotation one with Kylie Miller serving. Alexis Hart, that was kept up, and now they say it was down, and the point to Minnesota.
Smart shot and a nice start by Minnesota. Just being smart with where they're going with the ball, recognizing the defense, and we're going to see a lot of this. Getting them a little bit off balance and not hitting balls straight at the fantastic defensive players.
Talking about tough serving. The passing improved for Penn State as yesterday went along. Johnny Parker with the first kill for Penn State.
Big swing by Johnny Parker. She started off strong last night and then kind of cooled off a little bit as the match went on. So it'll be interesting to see where she is at this point tonight, ready to play.
Ended up hitting just below 100. Had a dozen kills on 40-plus swings. Stephanie Samity is back in there. She did not play yesterday in a straight sets win for Minnesota at Rutgers, battling a bit of a medical issue, but back out there and a whole lot to handle for Russ Rose in his 41st season at the helm, and with a chance at another, part at least, of a Big Ten title. Taylor Morgan sets Samity, and another kill.
That starts with a beautiful dig by Miller, but you know, we watched them even train this in practice today. They were having the middle set, having their outside set. Everyone's got to be able to hand the ball out of system. They've gotten used to that over the course of the season without Miller in. Now everybody can dish the ball.
There's Caitlin Horde coming right downhill at you.
And Horde, of course, this is what they want to do, is get the ball to Horde as early as possible to free some stuff up for the pins. That's what they were unable to do last night early. So if they can establish her early enough, get her going, and then get the pins rolling.
She had 11 kills in total last night. No errors, 17 swings. Serve off the tape. Came from Keaton Holcomb. And Minnesota answers right back.
So Penn State right now is working on serving, the passer hitter, working on serving Rollins a little bit, see if they can get the ball out of system as much as possible, but Miller keeping them in system on a decent pass, just hanging that ball for Morgan.
Minnesota by 2 early with C.C. McGraw serving. Kept up by Rachel Kilkelly in the back row. Rollins off the block. Hugh McCutcheon likes that, bounces off the bench in excitement. His 8th season at the helm. And he talked this week, he said there's a lot of little battles along the way. We're trying to win the war, and they're in as good a position at this part of the season as they have been in quite some time.
They are, and they talked about everyone's got fighting for something right now. They're fighting to be at the best and be at their peak with their new lineup.
Some trouble with it for Minnesota, and the point to Penn State.
So these are the kinds of things that Minnesota is still working out. Communication, making sure they know who's getting what ball.
Here comes the big jump serve from Johnny Parker. Rollins.
It's a beautiful set by Miller out of system. They handled Parker's hard jump serve, but Rollins was able to sneak that ball inside the block, and that's because Caitlin Hord's left hand was just not pressed completely over.
Now Stephanie Samity serving. Back for Rollins. Tip was defended by Parker. Coverage from Parker. Back to Tori Gurrell. And blocked.
Minnesota doing a very nice job being in good position over and over again. Penn State covering Gurrell a couple of times, but once she's out of system, Pittman is going to get over the net and block some balls. Be ready for her to block a lot of balls this evening.
Yeah, Ross Rose, in chatting with him today at Serve and Pass, so much respect for the player that Reagan Pittman is. Gabby Blossom sets Gurrell again, terminating.
Penn State moving some things around in transition. Gurrell wasn't just hitting the ball outside to the pin. They're going to move her inside, trying to force this block to have to guess, move, keep Pittman from closing. So you see her hesitate a little bit there with Horde. We're going to see a lot of that tonight when the ball control is there.
Miller sets Rollins again, and that is long from Adana Rollins. We'll see a faster tempo now that Miller's back working with Rollins.
You know, and that's something that Coach McCutcheon was talking about. They're working on finding that tempo. That's what they want to do. That's the goal, but it's hard. It's hard to find that timing, and they're still fleshing that out. He knows that, so he understands that some mistakes are going to happen, timing's going to happen, but they'll get it going.
And then Rollins targeted in serve receive, and Penn State's within 1.
They're going to continue to work that seam over there on that side of the court. Seeing if they can get Rollins in trouble with Kilkelly over there in that seam.
And the white goes short this time. And a free ball for Penn State. See if they can capitalize. Blossom the dunk.
We saw a little bit of that last night where she started that early. Again, not something she does that often, but I think that's why it's been so effective even right now and in last night's match as well. Just scouting, you got to be prepared, hands high. Even if your middle blocker's hands are high, you're going to get a piece of that.
And Minnesota out of system from a white serve. Parker teeing off.
Nice transition play by Penn State, handling the ball, and Blossom reverses the flow for no block for Johnny Parker.
It's a 5-0 run for Penn State after Minnesota got out to the hot start, and Johnny Parker has the Nittany Lions on top. Other action going on around the Big Ten Conference on this final night of the regular season. Wisconsin over in New Jersey trying to bounce back after a loss here last night, making quick work in those first couple of sets so far against Rutgers.
We'll see if White goes short here again. Try to mess them up.
Gophers toward Rollins. Back set for Reagan Pittman. And then confusion between Gurrell and Keaton Holcomb, couple of seniors. Rollins ready to serve. Good pass by Holcomb. That's why she's in there. And Gurrell off the block. Well, you talked about the short serving we saw from White and from Penn State.
Well, and this is something that is part of this strategy. Can you disrupt their offense as much as possible? Either serve the outside hitter short so she can't get up to hit the ball, or just force a free ball on the other side of the net. Penn State doing a nice job here. I'm sure they'll mix it up between a short serve and a deep serve throughout the course of the match.
If you were to go inside a coaching staff's mind, why does that work as a strategy, not necessarily the only strategy against Minnesota?
Well, serving short either disrupts your middle attack, so a lot of times the middle blocker has to take it, and it's hard for them to take a full approach. If you serve the outside hitter short, then you know where the ball's gonna go. She's on the ground, and you can send your blockers where they wanna go. The serving and blocking is often connected in strategy.
9-9 early on here in set one. And a service error from Reagan Pittman. Pittman and the Gophers were outstanding serving last night in that win at Rutgers. They had 15 aces in 3 sets, the most aces they've had in a match in 5 years.
It's got to be the most aces a lot of teams have had in 5 years.
In 3 sets, Pittman, she had a half dozen of the aces.
It's crazy.
We'll see how the serving for Minnesota looks against the system that Penn State has, just 2 passers, and they've stuck with that for most of this season.
And it's tough to do. I'll say it again, just in this conference with such a tough serving conference, very difficult to do. But Penn State has figured it out, and they've switched their lineup around a little bit to maximize the passers at all times on the court. You're going to see Kendall White taking one half of the court all the time, and then another DS coming in to help her out. So you're not going to see a ton of passing from White. They're going to avoid her as much as possible.
Serena Gray had the kill. She can serve tough as well. Trying to bounce back, serving from last night. The block denies Taylor Morgan.
Penn State doing a nice job staying home because they know Kylie Miller can still fire this ball into the middle. This isn't a perfect pass. She's not exactly where she wants to be, but Johnny Parker's in there to help, understanding that ball is still an option.
Good, Serena, good, Serena.
Deeper driving serve toward Rollins. Alexis Hart denied.
This is that serve that Serena Gray has that just drives deep. It's flat over the top of the tape, and it catches you high, hard to handle. That's what happens when you're out of system and can't see the ball in front of you. It's hard to score.
And a really good sign from her so far. She had 4 service errors last night. Free ball for Minnesota, down by 3 here in set 1. 7. Blossom for Parker with a tip. Morgan kept it up. Now Hart. Big swing. Man. Look out.
She unloaded on the ball. And that was without even a full approach. So you see Stephanie Samity come all the way across the court to try and play this ball. So Hart is the only option. She just takes a step close and cracks that ball hard in the corner.
She was terrific last Friday in the match back at the PAV in Minneapolis against Nebraska. 18 kills for Alexis Hart in that one, and she hit 400.
I tell you what, she's such an impressive player. I love watching her energy. I love watching her hit and play the game. She gives Minnesota so much energy and can score at a high clip.
More than 1,300 kills in her career, the senior from Kansas City. Bump set from CeCe McGraw for Samity. And a block for Penn State.
Hora just kind of patrolling the net here. So it's interesting because they run a fast offense to the left, right? A quick go, and then they set this high ball to the right side. And Hora just getting from left to right. And her lateral movement is unbelievable.
She does some things athletically that not many can. How about the work for Penn State defensively? And then Taylor Morgan is fired up and says, let's go to her teammates.
She gets on that ball so quick, it's unbelievable. And watch Morgan get off the floor. They kind of hang it for her, just give her a little hanging one ball. Holcomb gets in the way of it, but man, she just throws her feet back and transitions so quick. That's hard to stop that transition.
And then a point to the floor saying, let's go,
That's
guys.
right, let's do this.
Ford coming straight down at you. You said high flying today when we were talking about her at serve and pass, and easy off the floor.
Easy off the floor.
Now check out that, it's gone final in New Jersey. Wisconsin clinches a share of the Big Ten title in 3 sets, handling Rutgers. And so now the rare occasion where Wisconsin is rooting for Minnesota.
Very rare occasion, I'm sure.
Minnesota down by 3 with Samity serving. Kept up by Kilkelly. Free ball for Penn State. Blossom to the pin for Guerrero.
Man. So Penn State doing a nice job passing these free balls perfectly to get the middle blockers to hold with Horde, and Guerrero just unloading cross court. Sharp, sharp cross court inside the block.
Guerrero and Parker pacing Penn State with 3 kills apiece. Smart shot by Rollins.
That's what they opened up with, and I think they know that if they get in trouble or don't have a good swing, that's the area of court right now that Penn State can't defend. Smart shot by.
Sophomore from Carrollton, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Her serve has not been at the same level that it was last year as a freshman.
You know, and I think right now, Minnesota's trying to get a feel, trying to get a sense of where they want to put the ball. It looks like they have a specific strategy of where they want to go with the ball, and then they're missing just long.
A reminder of what's at stake for Penn State in this one. Wisconsin already with at least a share of the title. And if Penn State wins here, their 2nd consecutive night, they've got a share of the crown as well. Parker is blocked by Pittman.
That's Pittman. That's what she does so well. That ball is going to be high anywhere on the court. She's going to get there, get sealed, and over the net. You can guarantee that's going to happen.
1.42 blocks per set for Pittman, the redshirt junior from Kansas. 2nd team All-American a year ago, sir. Kathy. White in the back. Controlled it to Blossom. Point Penn State.
Nice rally on both sides of the court. A fantastic dig by White and a nice heads-up play by Blossom. And sometimes when that ball's just a little too tight to the net, you're not sure what I'm going to do with it. Just turn and fire it over there and see what happens.
Samity had to adjust. Blossom for Parker. Kept up by Samity. Good effort by Minnesota. Parker denied.
They had a fantastic save by Samity. First, just kind of sticking her hand out on a ball that rallied off the block. Excellent heads-up play by Hart to come back with the block. Fantastic work by Minnesota.
And now Kylie Miller serving again. She was serving really well with them before the injury earlier this year. And point goes to Penn State off the touch.
Penn State's make. Okay.
Hugh McCutcheon is looking at his players.
Yep. Morgan said, "Yep, she got it. Don't use the challenge, coach." Yeah, And that's what the coaches do. They have to rely on their players and say, hey, look, let me know so I'm not wasting my challenge here.
Wow. Alexis Hart.
And you talked about that fast offense earlier. That's one that Rollins is working out, but Hart has down. He said she likes that timing, that rhythm, being on that first step when the setter has the ball in her hand. She's just gone and on the ball fast. And it's hard to close the block when you have other hitters around you that can score.
Good.
White passing. That allows Caitlin Horn to kill.
Man, this is a battle of the heavy hitters right now. Horn unleashing on this ball. Offense is the name of the game right now. Both teams hitting over 300. Penn State almost in 400.
And now Keaton Holcomb serving. Off the tape again for her. White's bump set for Durrell. Rollins very sharp and Holcomb laid out. Durrell got a touch on Samity. Samity tips, and it's down for Minnesota.
What a rally. That was unbelievable. I don't even know what just happened. Ball was going back and forth, big swings, great defensive plays. I don't know what's going on. Holcomb made that crazy dig cross court. Everybody's flying around, and Samity with a smart shot over the top of the block.
She has been active early here in set one for Minnesota. 4 kills on 9 swings for Samity, and that's a great sign with some of the numbers that have dipped down for her this year.
You know, it has, and sometimes when you're not just completely in rhythm and comfortable with your offense, maybe with your setters, you know, and you have a couple of setters on the court in a 6-2, takes a minute, takes some time to figure it out. She's still trying to find her game and find her groove where she has been at the top of her game. And it's nice to see her at this point playing some good volleyball.
Hey, let's go.
Parker's 4th kill, got the lead to 4, and an ace serve for Johnny Parker. Timeout, Minnesota. Johnny Parker unloading from kill to ace, and Penn State up in set 1. Tomorrow on BTN, it's a doubleheader of Big Ten hockey coming your way. Top 20 to get things started. Michigan State, the up-and-coming program. They square off with Ohio State at 2:30, then the Wolverines and the Badgers at 5. Puck drops tomorrow at 2:30 on BTN. Well, good one going here so far. And you look at the points that were played by both these teams last night. Quick work for Minnesota at Rutgers. They played only about 2/3 as many points as Penn State did against Wisconsin.
Well, and it's such an important thing that people don't understand, and that's as we move forward into the NCAA tournament, that's something that's going to be interesting to look at as well. How are teams matched up? How much are they playing the night before? How much do they have to play? How early do they have to play the next day? It's really interesting to see how that plays out.
Well, a net violation goes against Minnesota, so it brings up set point for Penn State. Here's Parker. Still serving for Penn State, and a service error.
That ball was tossed way in front of her, and she couldn't quite reach it and get on top of the ball. And that's the tough part about a jump serve. It's got to be a consistent toss over and over again.
Now Samity. You saw how many points she didn't play last night, so she is rested, dealing with a bit of a medical issue. McGraw tried to get there, and set 1 goes to the Nittany Lions at home.
Penn State coming out, kind of picking up where they left off last night. Playing at a pretty high level. Minnesota still figuring out what they need to do, how they need to score against Penn State, and what they need to do to catch a game.
Penn State hit .438 in set 1 at home. They've got the edge early against Minnesota.
Do you know what the U of M does for you? From farms to breweries and orchards to markets, discover how the University of Minnesota is cultivating a new crop of Minnesota businesses.
Do you know what the U of M does for you? From hooves to hands and paws to possibilities. Discover how the University of Minnesota is making medical advances for all Minnesotans.
Volleyball on BTN is powered by Unleaded 88, the clean-burning fuel choice that's engine smart, earth kind. That is the prize to the victor in the Big Ten. The regular season, of course, no tournament in this conference, and this is such a hard conference to win. When you go through the regular season gauntlet like this, all these weeks stacked back to back in the 20 matches.
It's crazy, and it's a brutal conference, but it really prepares you as you move forward to the tournament, and I think that's why you see so many teams in the Big Ten do well in the tournament. First of all, they enter the tournament, then they advance pretty far because they're battle tested. They're in these tough environments. It's hard to play in these environments, and they're used to it. And if you're not used to it, man, it's a huge advantage.
Well, these are the remaining battles for the top 4 teams. We told you Wisconsin already won, so Wisconsin's already got at least a share of the Big Ten title. Penn State obviously in action right now. Nebraska up late in set 1 at home against Ohio State. Set 1 to Penn State at home. Rotation 1 to begin things for Penn State, and the first kill of set 2 to Minnesota.
And I like that Minnesota's using Samity out of the back row. This isn't something that they've been doing a ton, especially earlier in the year when they were running the 6-2. So getting her involved in the offense as much as possible is going to be huge for them moving forward.
Pittman serving. Parker. First couple of points to Minnesota.
Well, this is exactly what Minnesota is trying to do. Serve the ball down the line, right at Hampton, force Blossom to have to set this ball outside. They want to keep it away from Gray as much as possible. So if they can set this ball long and outside to Parker, they're going to have a better shot of getting a block.
They still got it to Gray this time, and changing speeds to get a point.
Not a traditional middle set, but Blossom just fires it up there. I think I heard Gray say, two, throw it up here. Smart play by her. Serena Gray is a cerebral player, super smart kid.
Seems to have really progressed as the years gone along as well. Right at Hart. Hart slams it down.
A little underset on the other side of the net just to kind of start the rally off, so Hart can really get on the ball. Allows Penn State to transition fast with that quality touch. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's not just playing the ball up, but it's a quality touch to allow them to run the middle.
Good, Serena.
Bump set from Hampton for Kathy. Morgan in the middle. Blocked by Penn State.
And a full commit block. So Penn State knows this is a scouting thing. When the ball is coming over the net, they're able to transition. That ball's going to go to Morgan in the middle as fast as possible.
Up to 4 blocks you see for Penn State. Tough serve that time at Hart. Blossom for Kathy. Nearly kept up, but the block there for Minnesota.
Man, Morgan gets up. She was over there completely closed, hip to hip, waiting for this ball. Press over the net. That's the beauty of having a tough serve, getting somebody out of system, forcing someone to play a ball that's not a perfect pass.
The 6-foot, fifth-year senior in the middle. There's Hort again.
Man, that's tough when you got a triple block in front of you and you still can't stop it. I know she tipped the ball, but man, back row players have to be able to, they're hanging in deep because she can unload on the ball. She can also throw it and tip it right over the block.
See, fast start for Hort. She's got those half dozen kills. She's done it on 7 swings.
Good key, good key.
Bump set for Hart. Penn State fired up.
Man, that was a big time block. And you know, this is a tough swing by Hart. She comes in full steam ahead. Maybe a tight ball, but a smarter shot off the top of the block. Skipping off the hands may have been a smarter swing.
Tor, you're on the back too, Tor.
Holcomb serves at Rollins. Hard.
That's a swing.
That's a bounce back.
That's the one she's looking for. But that's also the flight of the ball. It's the flight of the ball. It's off the net, gives her room to swing, and she's going to go over the top and score.
Yeah, Hugh McCutcheon said she might actually like a little more shape to some of the sets coming out to the pin for her.
That's what he said, yeah.
Parker, off hands.
And that's that IQ that Johnny Parker has, where she sees the block, has fantastic vision, knows what she wants to do, intentional tool off the outside hands of the blocker.
Awesome. Right on turn here, right on turn.
Remember what she did against Minnesota last year as well.
Do not get turn.
5-set Penn State win, and Parker had 29 kills on 68 swings in that one, right here at Rec Hall.
Unbelievable.
Burrell with a hitting error.
Minnesota keeping the ball alive, keeping things in play, just waiting. Sometimes you just have to be patient and wait for the other team to make an error. Gorell just can't get a hold of the ball. Unforced error out of bounds.
Here's CeCe McGraw to serve. And McCutcheon said to us today, unprompted, she's been the glue for us this year, and she has been so stout.
She has been. She is such a fantastic player. And she kind of, she makes so many plays that you forget. She's just out there scooping things up, digging balls, makes it look easy. But that's a player that can completely change the complexion of a match just on her own.
How about the Libero matchup tonight as you see Kendall White serve? Rollins.
Smart swing by Rollins on her way down. Blossom just needs to stay strong, be in a good spot, not get tooled, drop that right hand into the court.
Samity serves. Ray was calling for that two again. And Rollins into the corner.
A little bit of confusion there in the back row. That's generally Kendall White's ball, chasing that ball down, the chop to the corner.
Kills for Samity, Park, and Rollins apiece. McGraw. And the point goes to Penn State on the double.
So fantastic up by McGraw, but Miller unable to control the ball. And sometimes that happens, especially when it's a high dig, kind of waiting on it.
Of course, Miller so fresh getting back out there. Second weekend for her, and going into that match on Friday last weekend, it was still a 6-2 for Minnesota.
It was. It started off in that 6-2, and man, when they came back in that 5-1, it was a different game.
How about Gabby Blossom fired up? Is she Kendall White light with her energy?
Sometimes she absolutely is. She's not. Nobody's like Kendall White. Let's not get
come on.
Let's not get crazy. But yes, with the energy,
Heads up, watch
absolutely.
the pipe.
It's like a Coke Zero. Rollins with the miss hit. And the point to Penn State. Yeah, here's that reaction on the Penn State side.
She gets so fired, especially when she blocks the ball, does something at the net. When she attacks the ball, dumps, wins a jealous. She is so jacked.
Penn State by 3 here in set 2.
Watch the pipe, sets up.
Rollins with some trouble, gets the swing. Long.
Again, putting that pressure right now. Penn State's putting some pressure on Rollins to see if they can get her as a passer hitter. And they also have a lot of numbers on this. Now you see them pulling her out of the game, and they're going to change their passing pattern here in a little bit.
Yeah, Aidi Miyabe comes in, the junior from Japan.
Probably end up staying in that zone, in that area of the court, and serve her a little bit, test her.
Go right toward her for the service error. Miabe is a player who has done a lot for Minnesota recently. Was out there when it was a 6-2, was in there on the right side for Samity last night when she did this against Rutgers.
You know, she's such an impressive player. I've seen her several times over the season. Man, that's a good get by Minnesota. She can do it all at the net. She's got a tough serve. I like this player.
First JUCO player in Hugh McCutcheon's time in the Twin Cities. Pittman on the slide, and that's down for Minnesota.
Pittman needs to get going. If Minnesota can get this ball going, but you'll see here, Penn State knows they're reading the play. They just don't go over the net strong enough to stop Pittman, who is very difficult to stop.
Pass by Hampton gets Kathy going.
Nice rhythm set to Kathy. Kathy struggled a little bit last night. She's still trying to find her way. Find kills, score, be smart, expand her game a little bit more.
She missed a match recently as well for Penn State. Hampton came sliding in. Gray with the left, that was kept up by Miller. It was tough outside the antenna for Hart.
And that's just the second contact. Again, that's something they want to work on, and they've worked on a lot in practice. We saw that a little bit, and those are the balls that you can't afford to have, just flying outside the antenna and forcing your hitters to not be able to score or even keep the ball in play.
They targeted Miabe. Gray from the middle. And a timeout for Hugh McCutcheon in Minnesota. Back and forth we go in State College. Pittman got going, but answers from Penn State so far. Later tonight on BTN, Dave Revson, Glenn Mason, and Joshua Perry recap the entire day of Big Ten football. Some of the top 15 teams, they took care of business. Ohio State, Wisconsin, Penn State. The final drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance tonight after the big show on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Kept up by Hampton. Pittman trying to get going, and that lands wide. And Pittman with a couple of kills now.
That was a nice pickup by Hart, and that's what Penn State wants to do, is tip this ball over the top. You're going to see the left side blockers from Minnesota come underneath the block, and that's what they want to do, but Gray got kind of stuck. They were able to set Pittman one-on-one. She's going to score.
Remember, we told you Reagan Pittman, a tough server as well. We saw that with a half-dozen ace serves she had last night against Rutgers. Couldn't keep that one up, though, and Penn State's up by 5.
Now, Penn State's doing a nice job of managing some of these bad passes, throwing up just some random sets in the middle of the court. And Serena Gray hitting some roll shots and tips over the top, but managing her game pretty well right now.
And coming off that serving performance that Minnesota had last night, we saw the numbers. How would you assess what Penn State's done in serve receiving?
Well, I think they're handling the ball pretty well for the most part. You know, a couple of balls could be a little bit better. Some of those short serves are getting them out of system. So I think as the match has progressed, Minnesota's serves have gotten a little bit tougher.
Kylie Miller, the senior setter, the UCLA transfer from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Awesome, all the way out for Parker. Morgan.
Able to get around both Hort and Kathy. They knew it was coming back. They were ready and waiting for that quick ball, but she was able to hit around them. You watch their block alignment. This ball just kind of falls inside of Hort, hangs it up there, and she's able to go get it.
Balanced in terms of the attack for Minnesota so far. On the overpass, Hart is there, and Minnesota's within 2.
Tough serve, and this is what we talked about. Minnesota heating up a little bit at the service line, putting some pressure on it.
Miller off the tape, and an ace for Kylie Miller.
Another tough serve, goes off the tape, and that's just miscommunication. That's something that needs to be worked out. At this point in the season, middle blocker, outside, need to be talking loud, early, who's got that ball.
I can feel the frustration of a former coach when you see something like that. Blossom for Horn. My goodness. It's just a different kind of athleticism.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, just look how high she is off the floor. She tips this one. Minnesota scrambles to keep this alive and then lay this ball up there. She is high, and that ball could even be higher for her, and she could go get it.
And how about what the middles have done jointly? You see Hord's numbers alone, but between her and her classmate Gray, 13 kills, 18 swings, no errors.
Well, that's been their bread and butter this year, and that's what it is. That's how Penn State has success. If they can get their middles going and score at a high level, it frees them up for the outsides that need maybe a faster ball, need some seams in the block to score, and that's the key to their success.
And we saw that as last night wore on and as the serve receive improved for Penn State. Double with it there for Emily Shora, who came in and did a great job down the stretch last night.
Man, that's a fantastic serve by Kelly. That ball just drops. The bottom just drops out of that ball. Again, tough serving team, hard to pass with two. Penn State can do it and has done it, but that's where you get yourself into some trouble when those balls that sink and drop in the middle of the court.
Holcomb came back in. We know what she can do passing for Penn State. Trouble with it, trying to set.
So Minnesota still hanging around, being smart, playing some good off-blocker defense when Penn State's tipping over the top. They've got their wings playing balls and just keeping the ball alive.
Another tough serve, and that is Kill Kelly.
Service ace, point, Minnesota, the Golden Gophers up 18-16.
This Penn State team has been tough for Minnesota to get by, especially here in State College. Minnesota hasn't won here in 15 years. Down a set early on and now leading as we get later in set two. Coming right back in 60 seconds. Salima Rockwell is our resident bracketologist. She is going to get going on that in the coming days. But right now, let's just talk about what Big Ten teams have done these last 3 years in the NCAA tournament. Some deep runs for a lot of these teams.
Well, and I think the numbers speak for themselves. And we talked earlier about just how tough the conference is. And you're going to see a lot of teams with some losses, 4, 5, 6, 7 losses in conference, but will make the tournament and go super deep because of how difficult the conference is and how high of a level of volleyball they're playing. There's going to be some dangerous teams in the tournament that are going to end up unseeded, upsetting some teams early. And you can mark my words on that one.
Well, coming out of the timeout, a 4-0 run for Minnesota ends with a great pass from Kendall White.
Well, that's all they need. Kendall White handles the ball. If she's anywhere near it, around the ball, she's going to at least put up a high ball that Blossom can get to, set, and run the middle.
How about the power on the serve and an ace for Johnny Parker, her second tonight.
Yeah, she's unloading on this ball right now. And Parker, sometimes she has to groove this ball in, but she is ripping the serve. Hard to track. It actually tailed a little bit. Tailed a little bit to the right, hard to track, and Samity makes a huge effort into the crowd, but can't come up with it.
Not the same pace this time. And now Samity. And a point for Minnesota, back up by 1.
Nice swing off the top of the block by Samity, and that's what she can do. She's high, she's above the block, so she can tool, she can hit over the block. She can kind of just do what she wants if she finds her groove, finds her rhythm.
McGraw serves. Pass by Holcomb. Bump set from McGraw. Here's Samity. Coming at Parker with a kill. 7 kills now for Samity.
Big swing, found I think in the middle of the blocks. Just found that seam right in the middle. Able to see it, able to score. But Minnesota doing a nice job getting 2 blockers there on Horde, able to touch, slow the ball down, and that's what started the whole rally.
Deeper serve, still a great pass by Holcomb. Corral unloading at Kilkelly. A free ball for Penn State. Corral again, kept up by Rollins. Defended by McGraw. Here's Samity. And the point to Minnesota on the best rally tonight, perhaps.
Big defensive plays off of some monster swings on both sides of the court. Lawson came up with a dump that was just probably the wrong choice at the wrong time. Threw it right into McGraw. Forces them in a bad situation.
See what Samity's done. She has been active so far. Minnesota by 3 in set 2, and McCall Peed has come in for Johnny Parker. And she's passing right away. Allen's got it all the way over and down. Looked like it might not even make it over.
It's an odd play. The ball just kind of skims over the top of the net. I think Horde was waiting for Blossom to just do something with it. Barely went over the top of the net. Tough play. Lucky break for Minnesota.
The Gophers will take it, and they're up by 4, and it prompts a timeout late in set 2. Tomorrow on BTN, 2 of the best wrestling squads in the country lock up. Top-ranked Hawkeyes taking on the 7th-ranked Badgers. It's Big Ten Wrestling. It's tomorrow at 8 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app. A couple of top 8 teams here as well in this one. Number 8, Minnesota. Number 7, Penn State on the final night of this regular season. A Minnesota team getting healthy, and that means a whole lot to Stephanie Samity having the healthy setter in Kylie Miller.
It really does. I think she's finding a little bit of a groove here, finding a rhythm and leading. I like her energy right now. I like how she's talking to her teammates and trying to charge them forward and say, hey guys, let's do this. It's time for us to do this. And I like seeing that in Stephanie Samity at this point in the season.
Hugh McCutcheon made the comment to us that you get a lot of teams that are battered and bruised at this point in the season. Well, here's Minnesota. They've already had to endure a whole lot of that. Not that they don't have some of those issues still, but it's given them a lot of juice at this stage in the season to be this healthy.
Absolutely, it does. And to say, hey, we're kind of resetting at this point. We're heading into the tournament, or it's our last match. It's a big match for us, but he said the importance of this match was still finding their rhythm, getting better. Playing, of course, he wants to win. He wants to win this match, but it's about how they can continue to progress with a fully healthy team. It's a unique position to be in.
He's got Samity helping lead the way here in set 2 for Minnesota. And wipe up the court right in front of that Gopher bench. Russ Rose told us Reagan Pittman can do everything, towel work included. 22-18, CC McGraw serving. Goes at Peed. Takes Penn State out system, and it does not matter for Tori Gorell.
That's a big swing to be that far off the net, out of system. Is able to sneak that ball just under the left arm of Pittman. All she needs to do is drop that left hand, and she's going to get some stuffs on those balls.
White serve short. Samity. Good rhythm forming with Miller.
She's finding it. Miller's setting her over and over again. She's going to set her as much as she possibly can at this point. Absolutely carrying the team right now, hitting 471.
Hugh McCutcheon had said that before all the injury issues for Kylie Miller, she had formed a pretty good partnership working with Samity. There's Gorell to get Penn State to 20 and within 3.
Be square, kid. Be square. Come on. Get a good touch. Big positive touch here.
Bell with a service error. And it brings up set point for Minnesota now.
Golden Gophers returns.
Those are the errors you don't want to see, especially as a fifth year going back there. She's got a tough serve, tight set. And go back there and nail your serve.
Rollins. Kathy tried to go line, and set 2 to Minnesota to pull even.
Golden Gophers win the second set 25-20. Advance this match's time 1-7.
Really good bounce back effort there from Minnesota. After Penn State took set 1 25-19, Minnesota takes set 2 25-20.
And that's what you're going to see. We saw it last night, Penn State, Wisconsin. You're going to see these matches go back and forth. It's just always going to be battle.
Final night of this regular season so far, coming down the stretch. Penn State still has the chance to claim a share of the Big Ten title, but locked at a set apiece with Minnesota so far. Hugh McCutcheon joins us now, and Coach, first things first, Stephanie Samity, of course, not in there yesterday. How would you assess the job she's doing right now with Kylie Miller?
Yeah, it feels like they're getting the groove back a little bit. You know, nice to see Steph hitting with such good range.
Hugh, I was looking at your numbers, your overall numbers, but it really looks like your defensive game has stepped up just a little bit in this second set. Penn State was hitting for pretty astronomical numbers in the first set, and you brought them down to earth a little bit.
We're trying, you know, that was the big opportunity. We decided that was okay for us in the first, but just defensively not very disciplined. And, you know, I thought we did a better job, especially on some of the off-speed stuff. But, yeah, a little bit cleaner, but long ways to go.
Hugh, thanks as always.
Yep, cheers.
Minnesota head coach Hugh McCutcheon after set 2 here at State College. Minnesota and Penn State a set apiece from Happy Valley.
One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, check, check. Okay, how's the level now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's down some more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you want it up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, check, check, check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good.
This beauty sweater is not $19.99. It's $17.99.
Don't kid with COVID. mHealth Fairview wants you to know that what you do today will affect your family and our community tomorrow. Social distancing helps you avoid contact with those who may be infected with the virus. What can you do? Steer clear of crowds of 10 or more people. Keep a distance of 6 feet between you and others in public spaces. And if possible, work from home. Wash your hands, avoid big groups. Stay home, don't go out. We've all got to do our part.
Just about set for set number 3. The numbers through the first couple of sets here in State College. And now we welcome on Penn State head coach Russ Rose. Coach, what was your message to the team after these first couple of sets?
Well, you know, I thought we played real well in the first game. It hit over 400. And second game, we cut that in half. You know, I think, you know, I put a couple of kids in and subs, and, you know, it didn't work out so well. We made some errors, and you know, certainly Minnesota steadied out what they do. You know, they're a low error team. They made you know, some good adjustments with keeping the ball in play, and you know, we you know, went from hitting 400 to hitting about 200. So you do that, you're in a match with whoever you're playing with.
Coach, you have any specific adjustments that you think you need to make on your side of the net to allow you to be better in this set?
Well, you know, I think for us, you know, we always need to ball handle a little bit better, get the ball to the middles, and, you know, one of our outsides has taken some good swings, and the other one's, you know, a little too tentative.
Coach, thank you very much.
Sure.
You used to that by now, asking Russ Rose questions?
I just never know if he's going to laugh at me or what's going to happen.
Salima Rockwell, the former Penn State great, Mike Monaco, our BTN crew with you. This is what happened over in New Jersey just a little while ago. This match got started before hours here in State College. Wisconsin, despite the loss here last night in 5 sets, at least a share of the Big Ten title, and it could be more.
Oh, and I tell you, this Wisconsin team, and everybody knows it, and they saw it in the first 2 sets last night, and they've seen it all season at how good this team can be. So it's no surprise to anyone. They were voted the #1 team pre-conference by the coaches, and I'm expecting a big, big showing from them moving forward into the tournament.
Russ Rose said to us at Serve and Pass this morning, he said, I voted him first at the start of the season, and I still think going into the NCAA tournament that that's the most talented team when you look at all the pieces that they have headed into the postseason.
You know, and that's the fact, and that's the reality of it, but you never know what's going to happen in match. You never know how kids are going to react to certain environments, certain amounts of pressure, and things change from match to match. And again, we can come back and say how tough this conference is, evidenced by the match again tonight. Who's going to win? Who's going to win what set at what time? And who's going to be playing at the top of their game?
Tori Gorell on her game as we get going in set 3. Those are the numbers that Russ Rose mentioned. That .438 hitting percentage in set 1 that was in the low 200s then in set 2. Big jump serve from Johnny Parker. Board is blocked.
Big block by Pittman. Just completely camps out, full commit block, ready for Horde to get this ball. It's something you don't see every day, but man, Pittman, if anyone can do it, Pittman can do it.
6'5", fourth-year junior. Now back serving. Opens pass. Leads to Gorell. Free ball for Penn State. Gorell with a tip. Hart kept it up. That's the way Minnesota designs the defense. Gorell blasting this time for another kill.
You know, in this part of Penn State's strategy, tip this ball on the off blocker. You'll see their left side blocker comes all the way across the net, and that forces them to do something they're not comfortable with, giving Penn State another opportunity to score.
And because of that Minnesota alignment, that's why it was so important for Penn State and its serve and pass, talking about the depth of those tips.
That's right, because if they, first of all, if you tip it too short, the blockers are just going to hang and throw it down. If you tip it too deep, it's going to go right to the right back. So it's a fine balance. You got to work on that and make sure you're really putting the ball exactly where you want it to go.
After her ace serve, White serving again, and Alexis Hart with the kill.
Love the run of this offense. The speed of the ball, perfect pass that allows Miller to just run when she wants. You see Gray fully bites on the middle there, allowing Hart to go one-on-one.
Miller serves. Gorell again. And remember, it was set 3 last night when she had 4 kills in that set that started to turn the tide.
She really came alive in that set, and that's what Coach Rose says. She has just been playing better and better as the years gone on, and they're lucky to have her be able to hit different areas of the court. She played some right. She can hit the slides. And that's what Gorell has been providing for Penn State at this point in the season.
There's a tip for Samity. And back to Gorell, you were telling me earlier today that you weren't overly surprised about this position change for her because of the skills she has going back.
Yeah, no, she's played beach sand volleyball her whole life growing up in Canada, so she has a lot of really good skills. She can handle the ball, and you can see that. She can serve, but play all positions. Smart player, and it's just finding the right ones for her at the right times.
Remember, Nia Reed, Taylor Leith gone from last year's team. Good vision by Johnny Parker, and those are the smarts that you talk so much about with her.
That's exactly right. Knowing what her defensive is. Out of the back row, this is a tough ball to play. She tips this ball just over the top of the block to the right side of the court. Miller's unable to come up with it. I mean, even Samity tries to make that play as an off blocker.
Blossom serves at Kilkelly. Samity blocked.
is just all about block alignment, being in the right spot, getting that left hand on the ball. You'll see that Kathy brings that left hand right back into the court, lined up perfectly on Samedi's right hand.
Draws pass, gets Rollins going, Hampton dug it. Kathy's roll shot, now bump set for Rollins. Gray.
Huge dig by Hampton on that first swing. She just flies in here to make this play.
Hampton got it going, and then Serena Gray. The middles have been clicking for Penn State. We're in set 3 in State College. Penn State up by 4 early on. One of a few matches going on around the conference on this final night of the regular season. Bottom left, that's Nebraska. They're in the 3rd set, up 2-0 against Ohio State. And then Illinois and Northwestern tied at a set so far in Evanston. They met earlier this week. Illinois got the win on its senior night, and Illinois needs just to do everything they can be sure of with them in a position on the bubble or thereabouts.
Yeah, they do, and I think they're a bubble probable, but you know, a loss tonight, it's gonna shake some things up. This has been a real interesting season, man. I don't know what's gonna happen.
You know I'm gonna smile and go back to bubble probable. Is that a technical term?
That's pretty good.
That's good.
It is bubble probable. Listen, I gotta make some decisions here.
Minnesota gets the point off the block and back within 4. Our bracketologist, Salima Rockwell, she's got these 6 as locks. Bubble, you could add probable parenthetically to Illinois.
Probable bubble. I think that's all right.
That's tough to keep straight.
It is. Northwestern actually has been playing a lot better, and they've been giving some teams some trouble right now. So Illinois has got to make sure their game is clean tonight. Figure out how to finish.
And they've got a healthy Tammy Thomas Ayalara again. Point to Minnesota, back within 3. Now CeCe McGraw ready to serve for the Golden Gophers. Hampton, the passers for Penn State. They go at Hampton. Defended Gray well, but she gets the kill anyway.
Minnesota's there. They knew what was coming. Double block, just kind of waiting for it. Nice tough touch off the block, but deflects up and they can't come up with it.
Again, how about these middles for Penn State? Lee McCutcheon said we know they're going to get theirs in this match, and we've just got to do what we can to lock up the pins. They have been effective. Gray serving has been as well. Gray collides with Hampton. Comes up grimacing. Bump set for Samedi. Samedi again terminated.
Some big swings on the Minnesota side. Penn State just getting a little, and that's tough. You got a middle blocker there in the middle back, just waiting for it. And Hampton wants to play this ball. Samedi unloads once again.
She's got a match-high 11 kills now, hitting .409. Coverage off the block. Parker again. And a hitting error. She thinks there was a touch.
I'm not sure. Coach isn't buying it. Not going to challenge.
Have a peek
at it. It's a nice high swing. But I think she was going for the hands.
Trouble passing for Penn State. Minnesota looking to capitalize down 2. Pittman on the slide. Kept up by Hampton. Off the antenna, and Minnesota within 1.
Minnesota doing a nice job, just staying in the game, smart shots, getting Penn State out of system, forcing them to do things they're uncomfortable with right now. Waiting for them to make the mistakes right now.
Samedi keying this 3-0 run. Notice she didn't have the tape on the legs anymore that she came out with. Horde the kill.
Big swing by Horde once again. Perfect pass. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, it looks like she took off that Knies tape. Sometimes that pulls on you a little bit, and you just want to free yourself of it. Get off me.
You know, we need a camera just on you at all times to see some of your reactions on Caitlin Horde kills, because with that athleticism, you're flailing all over the place.
Silly. I mean, it's just, man, it's crazy.
Bub set from Kendall White. And at the net, the point goes to Penn State.
It's like Miller was in the net. No arguments there.
So 11-8 the lead for Penn State in set 3. Keaton Holcomb to serve.
Don't go too high on her, Kate. Go get the ball.
Samity picks out a spot.
And the tempo of this ball is what I want to go back to. It is so fast. Running this, call it a bick, where it's as fast as a quick in the front row. Running that ball super fast out of the back row. It is deadly. Hard to get more blockers up on her than one, unless you're waiting for it.
Samity again. And now a couple things to remember. She didn't play last night, and also there was no midweek match for Minnesota, so they had all week to work on the chemistry with Miller back in there in a 5-1.
Yeah, it's nice to have the time. You can flush a lot of things out when you have that kind of time. And her being able to rest is huge. It's a good opportunity for her to be able to do that and have fresh legs coming into today's match.
Samity's got 13 for Minnesota, but Tori Gurrell, another one. She's up to 11 for Penn State. And 13 kills last night on 28 swings and hit just above 350. Service error for Parker. Couple of aces, but now a trio of errors tonight behind the service line for Johnny Parker.
Well, those are the risks you take with a jump server. You know they're gonna miss a serve here and there. They're ripping it as hard as they can. So that's one of the things you take a risk with a tough jump server.
White's pass finds Blossom, gets the middles involved. Pittman's pancake. Now a heart to the corner. Morgan couldn't get it all the way past White. Now Gurrell, and point to Minnesota. We're even at a dozen.
And this all started with a middle blocker, a 6'4" middle blocker. Pittman laying out for a pancake in the left back. Unbelievable play by her. Just on her knees there, sees it, reads it. Just Minnesota ever able to convert off of it.
We talked about her serving when Minnesota was trying everything when they were shorthanded earlier this year. We saw her setting in certain rotations.
Yeah, she did it all.
Parker, the hitting error. Hitting negative now.
Parker's struggling a little bit. Needs some time to kind of regroup a little bit, find a flow. You can see the frustration in her face. She knows she's such a competitor. She wants to win. She wants to be good for her team, first and foremost. Right now, she's got to figure out ways to just keep it on play and find her way back in the match.
Service error comes right back. Talk about the energy of Kendall White and also the leadership for her.
Well, you know, she knows. She knows what to say to people. She knows when to get super fired up, when to say, hey, guys, we got to get this together right now. Just play our game. And that's a leadership that she has developed, always kind of had, but developed over the years at Penn State.
Lays out for that one. Gurrell. Kill again for Tori Gurrell. She is cooking in set 3.
And the defensive plays by White, I mean, it's not just her, her vocal leadership. That's what she does with her plays, and that's why people listen. Listen to someone that's always bringing it.
White kept it up. Burrell's got 7 kills in the set.
That was an unbelievable play by White. I thought that ball was going down for sure. Miller turns, makes a great play on that ball, and White just flails to get it.
White now serving. Another great night for Tori Gurrell. Point Penn State up by 3.
Tough. Hart's way out of system.
And a green card for Hugh McCutcheon, thinking that there was a touch.
Yep. I think he's looking, going to give the team a chance to kind of regroup. See if a forearm hit the ball, if it actually cleared the tape here.
Yep.
I'm seeing it.
Yep.
Yep, I see it off of Blossom's hand.
Take another look at it off the Hart swing.
Yeah, you can see it there, and I think that the first angle was a pretty good angle to see it, because I usually don't see anything pretty quickly.
Well, you need the glasses.
I'm blind. I'm holding them. They're in my hands right now. Maybe I should put them on my face.
And yet you can still see this.
So maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me put them on.
Down official having a look here in State College. Yeah, Hugh McCutcheon, he popped up pretty quick and
he did. He was
didn't
pretty
use
sure.
many words to explain what he wanted.
And remember, they're gonna take a look at the cameras, the DV Sport cameras that are already in the facility. May not be exactly what we're seeing on BTN on our cameras, because they have special cameras here as well. For the sidelines, the end lines, every facility is a little bit different with where their replay is, and the down ref is doing his best to see what he can see. But that net cam is right there, so I'm thinking it's pretty clear.
Well, coming up on BTN, The Big Show delivers highlights, interviews, and post-match analysis. You don't want to miss The Big Show coming up next on BTN and the Fox Sports app. We will provide some commentary for that one as well. We'll be talking about an NCAA tournament outlook for these Big Ten teams, and we've already gone into some of the bracket outlooks, your bubble probable team in Illinois. So more of that to come on The Big Show later.
Fans after video review.
So clarifying the final word here.
After video review, there was a touch. So the point will be replayed. We'll go back to 15.
So as expected, they saw what we saw, what Hugh McCutcheon and his bench saw. The touch there, so they replay the point.
First challenge used by Minnesota. 15-13.
Kendall White to serve again.
Kendall White to serve.
Hey, let's go. First play. Let's go, Johnny.
Getting to Rollins. Right through the middle again. And she's got 9 kills, just like Caitlin Hoard.
So that roll shot in the middle of the court that was working earlier for the outsides for Minnesota, now Kendall White's just like, I'm getting it. Just gobbling that ball up in the middle of the court, allowing them to transition.
Yeah, you heard her yell for it as well. Blasting at Holcomb. Gurrell is blocked. Morgan and Miller side by side.
Big dig and a bigger block to finish up. You see Miller comes up perfectly timed, prints back into the court. Beautiful block by the Penn State, or excuse me, the Minnesota team.
And now Kylie Miller serves. Pass from Holcomb. Kept up by Rollins. Miller's bump set for Hart. And a kill.
Nice, smart shot by Hart. Very good vision here. Taking an out-of-system ball. Hitting it right on the sideline. You see Holcomb cheat in a little bit, thinking she's going to hit it more towards the corner, and she just attacks that ball towards the sideline.
Blossom had to go get it. Parker out of the back row. Morgan in the middle. Got it by Parker.
Taylor Morgan with the kill. Point Minnesota.
Nice plays by Minnesota. Tipping balls, throwing it around. Again, doesn't have to be a hard hit every time. They can find their middles and find the floor, point to point.
kills now for Taylor Morgan. On the overpass, Morgan and Samity both blasting off.
Both of them were up, ready. That's the thing, with balls between two hitters, you both want it. And usually it's on the hitter's right shoulder or the hitting arm. You want to go up and get it and let the other person go.
Morgan always wanted to be expressive. She's just fun to watch, whether it's serve and pass or in matches.
Dancing on the sidelines. Nice stab by McGraw.
White stepping into that spot again. Morgan, big dig by Holcomb. Doral had to adjust, and Minnesota's up by 2.
Staying steady. Minnesota just playing clean volleyball right now, allowing Penn State to make some of these unforced errors, and that's what's happening at the end of a lot of these rallies.
Penn State takes its first time out of the set. We're back in 60 seconds. Again, the title on the line across the conference. Wisconsin already has at least a share of that trophy here in the Big Ten. Top 50 in the RPI at the beginning of the week. These are the RPIs for these teams in the Big Ten, and then what's happened to them in the week that has followed. And obviously, Penn State has a huge bump with the win here yesterday.
It'll be a huge bump. Yes, these numbers, everything is from earlier this week, so everything will change as of tomorrow, and we'll see with the selection show how things flush out. But it was a big week of volleyball, and there's so much to be played even this last week to determine what's going to happen. Everyone's fighting for something. A seed, a top 4 seed, a top 16 seed, and just making the tournament.
How much, when you were on staff, were you peaking at those sorts of things at this time of the year, the final weekend?
Well, I think managing your team is a big deal, and you know the teams across the country that are very good at that. Their strength staff is very good at that. Their coaching staff is good at resting them at the right times and allowing them to peak. That's the key. You want to peak at the end of the season and head into the tournament playing your best and playing your freshest volleyball. It's hard to do when you get beat up all season, though.
Brooklyn Hill has come in to serve. She was key serving in set 5 last night. Have a big swing on the Minnesota side.
That is an elite swing. This is off of a bunch set that is way off the net. She goes high and deep into the court. See Miller is at 14, 15 feet, and Hart just goes deep into the cross court. Big time swing by Hart.
Minnesota by 2, Kilkelly serves. Coverage not there off the Gray swing.
Set looked like it was a little tight. Gray wasn't able to really manage it, and Rollins there surrounding the ball. That's what you need to do when it's tight. Just completely clamp the ball.
Hampton's pass, a good one. Kilkelly digs it. Coverage from McGraw, and then Rollins reached out. That went around the antenna. Point Penn State.
Tried to keep it alive, but just couldn't curve that ball around the antenna. And you see Minnesota's just back there digging balls, one-arm stabs, just keeping the ball alive, keeping the ball in play.
Blossom, a service error. This was the play prior. Check out the line judge here. You got the telestrator going.
Oh, he's all in. Fully committed. You gotta love it, doing their job, taking their job seriously, and that's a big deal.
3-point margin in set 3. Parker.
There's Parker with a big swing, coming right back at you. It's nice to see that. Parker needs to keep it going. She's got to get her motor going right now. She's been really the glue to this team in every facet of the game. Last night didn't have a fantastic match. Started off a little bit slow here today, and see if she can take off and pick up some steam.
Tough racer. Donna Rollins.
Nice swing by Rollins down the line. She finds just that space right between Parker and the antenna. Beautiful set, of course, created by Miller.
Sanity ready to serve. just tuning into this one, Penn State took set one, 25-19. Minnesota countered in set two. Ace for Samity.
And this ball is so difficult to pass. It barely goes over the top of the net. No spin on it at all. And you see the bottom just drops out of it right in front of the passer.
Fourth ace for Minnesota. And Russ Rose needs his second timeout. Later tonight on BTN, it's Dave, Glenn, and Joshua breaking down the entire day of Big Ten football. The final drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance after the big show on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Ohio State hung 56 on Michigan in the game. J.K. Dobbins still a monster. Penn State, they had to pull away. It was close for a little while, but they got by Rutgers just across the way.
A little scary for a minute, but they worked it out.
Well, Stephanie Samity in Minnesota leading here late in set three. She's got 13 kills, hitting .458.
I'm telling you, this is the Stephanie Samity that everyone knows. It's been a slower season for her as she's been trying to find her way, but this is what we've seen as her as an All-American at Minnesota.
And Hugh McCutcheon was saying to us today, look, she played with Seliger Swenson her first couple of years, and that's an adjustment. And then you talk about the injury issues that Minnesota's dealt with that we've discussed at length. And there's also been a lot of out-of-system swings for Samity, too.
There's a lot going on, and that, kind of creates the entire picture. And I know she wants to play better. She wants to play better at times when things aren't perfect, and that's her job. And I think she understands that, she knows that, and wants to get better at her job, even when things aren't lined up perfectly and aren't what she's expecting.
So it's 23-19. Minnesota on top in set three. Trying to go up 2-1 on the road. The serve at Hampton. Penn State out of system. Parker. Samity reached for it. Now Rollins. Off to Tate. Long bump set from White. And a chance now for Penn State. Parker. Big time swing from Johnny Parker, left alone over there.
Wow. I want to go back to that bump set. I'm not sure what Kendall was thinking, but she was going for it. And Parker making a play, flying out of bounds. And you see Minnesota bunch in on that perfect pass, ready for Horde to get set, leaving Parker 1-on-0. Excellent hustle over there by Parker.
Pittman. Explosive. It's only her fourth kill, but they've been big ones.
They have been big ones. And man, getting her going, she is an unbelievable arm. She has a fast swing. She hits it hard to defend. Whenever they have an opportunity to go to her, I think they're going to give it a shot.
On set point for Minnesota. Parker a second time. Nice job by Rollins in the back. Pittman on the slide with the tip. And Minnesota takes set three from Penn State. It's a lead for the Golden Gophers through 3 sets here in State College.
And Minnesota just talking about their defense and how well they're playing, just stabbing balls, keeping the ball alive, and just being patient, waiting for Penn State to make an error.
Final day of the regular season here in State College. Minnesota up 2-1. We go to set 4 inside Rec Hall in State College, Pennsylvania. It's Minnesota after dropping the first set, up 2-1 in this top 8 match. Penn State with still a lot to play for, could still get a share of this Big Ten title, and they have been in this top 10 throughout the season. We've had this clump of 4 Big Ten teams.
They have. It's been consistent week after week. All these Big Ten teams just staying in the top 10, hanging in there.
Where do you think the Big Ten fits into the national conversation? We've seen them go up against those top 4 teams you see.
Well, I think as a conference, I think they're the elite conference. You know, people can argue Pac-12, and you know they have had a strong year. They have very good teams top to bottom, but the strength of the Big Ten is unbelievable.
Check out some of the scores we told you about. Wisconsin, Nebraska's gone final, and how about Northwestern up 2-1 on Illinois in Evanston?
You know, they're playing better. That's the scary thing. These teams in the Big Ten, they can play well, they can get better and better, and it's a scary night. You can't rest any night, and there's no nights off.
Reagan Pittman with a kill to begin set 4.
Here we go, guys. Side out. Right away.
Pittman's starting to warm up here a little bit, getting more swings, providing more offense that they need.
Good job.
White stepped in to take it, and now Parker. She started to get going a little bit too as set 3 went along.
She did. She's still not hitting great, but warming up, getting better, and that's what she needs to find some energy. Needs her teammates to feed off of her a little bit, her leadership, what she can do.
And after Rollins again. Wow, that was kept up initially, but the point to Penn State.
Big block, got a triple block after even. Ball was all the way on the right side of the court. Morgan setting hard here, out of system. Kathy gets all the way in there. Triple block, hard to hit past that ball. That block.
Better from Rollins this time. Hampton. Parker got a tip but couldn't control it.
Point Minnesota.
Still some big swings on the Minnesota side. Penn State's getting a hand on it, can't control it, can't keep the ball in play. Gotta work harder on those touches, keeping the ball alive, just high in the middle of the court.
Pass from Hampton. And the point to Minnesota. Penn State thought there was a touch.
Looks like the whole team thought it was a touch, and she yelled touch. That's what they're saying.
Penn State is using their first challenge review.
Well, that would make it fairly convincing then?
Well, I don't know. They have to see it. It doesn't matter what the player says. They actually have to see it.
Gabby Blossom and Kendall White whipped around, maybe with a little disgust. Let's take a look.
They're pretty fired up. Take a look at all the angles. See if we can see it. See if we can see it from this angle a little bit better. It's a maybe. It's hard to see.
Let's try one other new angle here. Spin of the ball, changing there.
See if we can see it. Oh, maybe. How's that? How's that for a call? Maybe.
I don't think that would have flown sitting on the bench. Yeah,
So
that's
it
probably our
looks like
best look at it.
It might clip the left hand there apart, but it's super close. It's super close. It's hard to say what he's going to see. And if it's not absolutely conclusive, well, the call stands.
Thinking there was, perhaps. Indeed, there was a touch.
There it is. I can see after all.
You don't get that cop-out.
I don't. But it's real.
So the point to Penn State after using the challenge. Early in set 4, but important for the Nittany Lions.
It's so important. At every point, you know how these games can get away from you in a hurry. They need to continue to go back and forth, both teams, and find a way to extend the lead. A couple of real points on either side of the net. That's the only way.
There's Keaton Holcomb. At Hart. Samity got it down ahead of White.
Nice shot. It looked like she was a little bit out of sync there. I'm not sure if it was the set or if it was her footing, but she had the mind to be able to hit that ball, roll shot it just right between the block.
Rachel Kilkelly, freshman from Shakopee, Minnesota. Overpass for Rollins. And the point to Minnesota.
That was a nice play by Blossom, standing there, soft block. But that's the first touch. And they have to count that as one.
All the way up for Blossom. Parker again. And a kill for Johnny Parker.
Nice swing by Parker and a ball that's way over her shoulder. It's hard to track that ball that's coming from that side of the court all the way over your shoulder. She does a nice job tooling off the block.
Double-digit kills now for the sophomore. Rain in the jump serve.
Johnny Parker just hit it. It looks like she's grabbing her wrist a little bit. Didn't really get good hand contact on it. Sails it long.
Now CeCe McGraw. White stepped in front of Holcomb. Well jabbed at it. And down for Minnesota.
Fantastic swing by Samity once again, finding the areas of court that are open and available, hitting over and around the block.
Big night for Samity continues. Kept up after Blossom had just thrown it up there. Horde. Samity at the end of the disjointed rally.
Unbelievable bump set by Rollins here over the back of her head, and Samity coming through. It's just definitely the ball's falling her way right now. Penn State just needs to steady out, pass the ball, handle the ball, get the ball to the middles. See if they can get a side out here.
Big time numbers from Samity. McCall Pete has come back in. She's in for Parker. Blossom the dunk.
Perfect timing. Block not prepared. Just kind of hanging out, waiting to see if Ford's going to get set the ball. Perfect time to dump right there.
Short serve at Pittman. Samity. Over near the table, and they ran out of room. Made the catch over here.
Pretty good. You're an athlete, right?
Landed literally right in our lap. 17 kills now for Samity. There we are. That's the name in the salmon.
Salmon. I have a salmon shirt.
Bump set from... Burrell right by the student section. With Minnesota up by 3. Blossom lays out for it. Gorell at McGraw. Rollins. Coverage. Gray pounds it down.
Penn State finally finishes a rally. But there's lots of digs back and forth. At this point in the match, Minnesota's been coming up with a ton of these, finishing these rallies. That's what Penn State needs, is to stay in it, stay in system, finish a rally.
Gorell serves. White punched it up. Bump set now for Rollins. Trouble for McCall Peed. And the point to Minnesota. Here's a look back. We got the telestrator out for this. I wanted to give them a chance to make the play.
I'm covering like.
Yeah, I mean, if I just reach up for it, then I'm the bad guy.
I don't know what I'm doing right now. I looked like I was about to get killed.
Salima Rockwell, Mike Monaco, our BTN crew with you here at State College. Wow, McGraw and Hart kept that up. Kathy, there's a kill. Much needed for Kathy, just her second.
Man, some unbelievable defense on the other side of the net. McGraw lays out, Hart keeps it alive. Scrapping just like they've been doing. Kathy coming up with a big swing down the line to finish.
Samity from the back row into the corner. And she's done it from all over.
She really has. It's pretty impressive right now. She's hitting 500.
On 32 swings. Minnesota up 2-1, up by 3 here in set 4. Ace for Reagan Pittman. She had 6 of them last night.
I tell you, that serve, it just drops. It drops right in front of you, and it's hard. It's not a short serve. She's not serving it easy and short. It just kind of sinks right at the end. Everyone tries to clear out to let Hampton play, and that's a tough ball.
Got to that one. Parker. And that's down for Minnesota.
Another out-of-system play for Penn State. Setting the long ball way across the court gives Minnesota block time to set up. Easier to block this ball when you're way out of system, more time to get prepared.
And Russ Rose wants a timeout. A 3-0 run for Minnesota, up by 5 in set 4 on the road.
Don't kid with COVID. mHealth Fairview wants you to know that what you do today will affect your family and our community tomorrow. Good hand washing protects you and can slow the spread of the virus. Use soap and warm water. Be sure to wash both sides between your fingers, fingernails, thumbs, and wrists. Scrub for at least 20 seconds. Wash early and often. Wash your hands, avoid big groups, stay home, don't go out. We've all got to do our part.
Set 4 getting late. How about some of these one-handed saves we have had so far?
And that's what Minnesota's been doing, just keeping the ball alive and knowing that it's always in play, and being able to finish at the end of these plays is the key. So keeping balls alive, stabbing, laying out there, it's been pretty impressive on the Minnesota side right now.
We've had other coaches in the conference say they might lead the country in the number of those that they do as a team. Gray from the middle. Good answer out of the timeout for Penn State.
Starts with that pass. I mean, it's really not complicated. I think I said the same thing last night. They can handle the ball, get their middles going. That's where they have their success.
You're in need of some synonyms here.
I am.
Late in the season.
I am.
Here's Greg. Long way to go, and there's Hart. And you said it, some of these swings are just elite level for her.
She just finds it. She finds the areas of the court, little step close, inside the block, on broken plays. And that's the thing. She gets her feet to the ball on these plays and allows her to stay elevated, able to hit those angles.
Blossom left it for Horde, who has been quiet recently. Point to Penn State. They got a lift on Minnesota. So can Penn State go on a run here? Down by 4 in set 4, down 2 sets to 1 at home.
Come on, Johnny. You got it, Johnny.
Hart, dug by Holcomb. Blossom's bump set all the way for Garrell. Morgan got it through, right between Blossom and White.
Nice spot in the middle of the court, just throwing the ball. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Just making these plays, quality touch right to the center, throwing the ball on the floor.
Long on the serve. We've been keeping tabs on some of the other scores from around the conference. Wisconsin a winner. We told you about Nebraska. How about Northwestern? Up 2 sets to 1, and with match point in Evanston against a ranked opponent. You said it earlier, Shane Davis's team has improved a ton the last few weeks.
They really have. And that's what you were expecting out of that team early in the season. They weren't playing well. They dropped a couple of bad ones early and have progressively just been getting better. So it's not a huge surprise that this is a tough match over there.
And how would that impact the RPI and the chances for Illinois? Because at the start of the week, Northwestern was 100 in RPI.
That's not good. That's going to be an issue. So it'll be interesting to see what the committee looks at. They beat them earlier in the week, so they split with them this week. And already kind of a bubble-ish team. How's that one?
There's a synonym for you.
Thank you.
We saw what St. John's did earlier today as well, and that's
right.
A bid stealer.
It is a bid stealer. So it's going to be interesting. The committee looks at so many different factors. So it's not just one. It's not just, hey, this is where they are, or this is the RPI, or this is X, Y, and Z. But there's so many factors involved, and how they weigh them, we don't know.
Point goes to Penn State at the net. They got the net violation on Minnesota. On the topic of tournament resumes, look at what Illinois has done. They've played 5 5-set matches against teams in the top 20 of the RPI. They have battled all year, and they've been close in some of those matches.
They have been. And that's what the committee is also looking at, that strength of schedule. They're looking at head-to-head, they're looking at opponents. You know, again, all these factors involved that when it comes down to, because there's so many other teams still in the mix.
Kept up there by Parker and White. Big swing by Samity.
Excellent hustle on the Penn State side. Huge coverage on the Minnesota side. Both teams just battling to keep this ball alive. And who are you going to set the ball to for a kill? Samity.
Remember, Minnesota 16-3 in the Big Ten. Wisconsin finished up 18-2. But Minnesota could improve seeding. Block for Minnesota.
Pittman finding that timing again, reading it perfectly, just kind of mirroring the hitter, chasing her to the pin, able to stuff that ball pretty easily.
For Garrell, another kill. She's got 15. Remember, she had 7 in set 3 alone.
Nice swing off the top of the block, and this match is still up for grabs. I mean, Minnesota absolutely has the momentum, playing a lot cleaner volleyball right now. But there's time, 17-13, there's time in this match to make a push.
New season high in kills, by the way, for Garrell tonight. Kay Kelly laid out, but Blossom brings Penn State within 3.
Starts with a beautiful dig by White, shading over, knowing exactly where Pittman's going to hit this ball, and then smart heads-up play by Blossom to the deep corner.
Nice dig, Ken.
Penn Penn State fired up with the block and back within a pair.
That was a big-time block on the Penn State side of the court. You watch Kathy, she's loaded in that swing blocking position and presses over. Both blockers are ready. On that perfect pass, they know they want to go to Pittman at that point. Nice block scheming on the part of Dennis Hohenscheld, who runs their blocking system. He's up there talking to them constantly about where they go, what they need to do.
Well, this time it's Rollins ending a 3-0 run. Rollins, one of 3 Golden Gophers, now in double figures, you saw with kills.
You're serving the ball, receiving the ball, excuse me. Penn State's been targeting her a lot. She's handling it okay, just hanging in there, but doing a nice job with the net.
Penn State within a pair again.
Penn State. Gabby Blossom is serving at 16-18.
Transitioning, again in the middle, finding some space, tooling off the block.
White digs it. Coverage off the Kathy swing. Miller for Hart. In that same spot they went earlier. Now Parker. Goal for Penn State.
Big plays on the Penn State side to keep the ball alive and keep them in the set. Finish this play with Blossom just on her knees, sliding back, going opposite flow. Parker tooling off the top of the block. Penn State's right back in the set.
At home, a place where Minnesota has not defeated Penn State in 15 years. You got to go back to 2004, the last time that happened.
And it's tough. It's not easy to play on the road in conference. It's tough. This is a tough place to play right now. The football weekend, the place is packed. There's a lot of pressure on you. To play well, play at a high level, it's hard to win.
Slow, 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 slow.
Well, we were looking in on that match in Evanston, Northwestern and Illinois squaring off for the second time this week. Remember, Illinois won earlier this week back at Huff Hall on its senior night. And how about Northwestern in its final match of the season, a 4-set win over a ranked opponent in Illinois.
That's the way you want to end your regular season, playing at your best volleyball, feeling good, going out, and hey, that's what they're looking for. Improvement every single match, every single season. That's what you want to see out of your team. Congratulations to Shane Davis on that big win.
He has been building that program, now his 4th year in Evanston. Samity, dig by White. Parker blocked. Pittman fired up for Minnesota.
Pittman is just such a good blocker. And White has been keeping the ball alive, making some huge digs on the Penn State side, but Pittman in position, closes the block, knows it when it touches her hands.
Minnesota by 2. Kept up. Gray wanted it again, and Gray's got Penn State within 1.
Minnesota went with a little blocking sub there, trying to just slow the Penn State offense down a little bit.
6'5" Shea Rubright, the freshman from the state of Washington. Out of system. Hart misfires.
a huge serve by Serena Gray, deep into that corner, catching Rollins high on the right side, right arm, barely even able to handle that ball, forcing them out of system.
7-2 run for Penn State. Samity has had answers all night.
Finding a way, always finding a way.
20 kills now for Samity.
Nice, just smooth swing off the side of the block to score.
She was here to play Stanford in-state college earlier this season. Back in September, she had 21 kills against Stanford. Penn State even at 20.
So you look at the Penn State block, and they're holding their blocking schemes behind their back right now, kind of letting the back row know, this is what I'm taking, this is where I'm going. I'm making a read block, I'm taking this angle. So everyone behind the nose.
Holcomb with a big-time dig. White tried to get to it.
A lot of miscommunication there. Big dig. I don't know if Blossom didn't really call for help or just expected someone to come and step in and just take this ball. And White tried to save it, keep it alive.
1-point edge late in set 4. Kilkelly. Good pass by Holcomb. Board involved.
Elevates. I mean, she was over the top of both blockers at that point. Holcomb coming through with that pass that they needed so desperately at this point in the set.
She seems to hang up there in the air.
She does.
So does Morgan. She is a pogo stick.
She is, absolutely. Off the ground so fast, springy, fast arm. And this is why the serving is so important. This is why serving is so important that neither team could just be perfectly insistent, because it's hard to defend.
Crowd rising in unison here in Rec Hall. Out of system, Gorell. 22 all.
That is a clutch swing right there.
22. Now it's White serving. Samity. Parker kept it up. Miller for Rollins. And a kill.
Big play by Minnesota. Penn State still hanging around, making some defensive plays, but unable to come up with this ball. Kendall White stabs at it. Everyone tries to lay out for it. Can't keep it alive.
Minnesota has not won here in 15 years. They're back healthy at this time of the year, headed toward the NCAA tournament, and up 2 sets to 1. Gorell has been so huge tonight. Tori Gorell.
Man, big swing. And Blossom able to set this ball in rhythm, in system for a monster swing by Gorell. See what Minnesota answers with. If they go to Samity out of the back row or Pittman.
Gorell serves. Samity out of the back row with a kill to bring up match point.
There it is.
1-on-1.
Hampton coming back in and need a pass to side out.
15 years. And we'll get a timeout taken by Russ Rose. That That's 13 matches straight that Penn State has won here against Minnesota. Our State Farm State of Success tonight, these two leaders. Stephanie Samity, 21 kills. Tori Garrell, a season-high 17 of her own.
Both players just absolutely coming through in clutch moments for their teams. When either team needs a kill, that's who they're going to go to. Stephanie Samity finally finding her rhythm, finding her groove, playing the best volleyball that I've seen her this season. Of course, Garrell getting better and better, coming through for her team today. See if what's enough to win the match.
Match point for Minnesota, a team that's been through so many injuries throughout the season. We know about the setter. It happened to CeCe McGraw. Recently, it's been Morgan, Rollins, Samity. They've all missed matches recently, and so this team, as dangerous as they'll be at any point this season down the stretch.
Well, that's absolutely correct. They've always been kind of my sleeper team throughout the season. I'm like, when they get healthy, watch out, because they have the pieces, they have the players, they have the coach, and that is an excellent volleyball team. So when they find their stride, you're gonna have to watch out.
Volleyball on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Talk to an agent today. 2 nights in a row. Huge matches here. 2 weekends in a row with just a bunch of big-time matches in this conference coming down the stretch. Match point for Minnesota with Adana Rollins serving for the Golden Gophers. White's pass. Gray is blocked. And Minnesota wins on the road. For the first time here in State College in 15 years.
Excellent performance by Minnesota, coming through on the defensive end, of course on the offensive end as well. Big match for Minnesota as far as their chemistry, as far as their level of play. I'm sure Coach McCutcheon is not just pleased with winning the match, but also pleased with how he saw his team perform.
Penn State took set 1, and then Reagan Pittman, Taylor Morgan, Stephanie Samity and company come back and win the next 3 sets here in State College. What a weekend here of volleyball to close down the regular season. Still so much more to come. We come back to State College to wrap it up right after this.